Hi, I'm Alex Topazzo, Vice President and Insurance Agent here at Topazzo Insurance. You have questions about coinsurance. We have answers. Let's get into it. Coinsurance has different meanings in health insurance and in property insurance. So for today's video, we're going to stick to talking about property insurance. So coinsurance is basically how insurance companies make sure that you're insuring your property to close to what it costs to rebuild and replace it. It's called coinsurance because it describes what happens if your property is not insured to its correct value. You will become responsible for a portion of the claim. Basically, you'll become a co-insurer. All property policies have coinsurance, whether it's built into the coverage like homeowners insurance or specifically described like on a commercial property insurance policy. The coinsurance is described by a percentage of the value to rebuild the building or replace your contents, usually 80 or 90%, or some have 100. So if you have an 80% coinsurance, then you have to insure at least 80% of the building or contents value. If you don't insure your property to the correct coinsurance percentage, then the company will deduct from the claim the same percentage you were underinsured. So 1% is the amount you promised to insure. For example, if you have a building that costs $100,000 to rebuild and you have an 80% coinsurance clause, then you promise to insure at least $80,000. The other percentage is the amount the company would deduct from the claim because you were underinsured. Figuring out the percentage they'll deduct, also called the penalty, requires a little math. It's a formula. You'll take the amount that's insured and divide it by the amount you should have insured, then multiply it by the amount of the loss. The answer is the amount the carrier will pay. Keep in mind they will also subtract the deductible from the answer. The difference between what the loss was and what the carrier will pay before the deductible is the coinsurance penalty. I put the formula up on the screen. So a quick word problem. You have a building that has a replacement value of $125,000 with an 80% coinsurance clause, which means you have to insure $100,000, but you only insure $80,000, and then you have a $10,000 loss. 80 divided by 100,000 equals 0.8. You multiply the loss, 10,000, by 0.8, which tells you the carrier will pay $8,000 minus whatever your deductible is. The coinsurance penalty is the $2,000. Simply put, the company will deduct from the loss whatever percentage you were underinsured. In the example, where you were underinsured by 20%, so they deduct 20% from the loss. If you're like me, you're wondering, why does property insurance work this way? Why can't I just insure for whatever value I want without penalty? The answer has to do with the statistics that carriers use to try to figure out how likely a property is to have a loss. Basically, it's much more likely for a building to have a $100,000 loss when it's worth $1 million than a building to have a $100,000 loss when it's a $100,000 building. So companies use coinsurance to make sure that they're collecting enough premium and have enough money to pay the claims that they're likely to have in any given 12-month period. It pays to make sure that you have your property insured to the correct amounts so that you get the loss paid the way you expect it when it matters most. You can make sure that you're insuring to value by having a replacement cost appraisal performed on your building or having an updated list of your stock and equipment with all the values that you paid for them. Keep in mind that not all insurance is created equal. This was a very broad and general explanation of how coinsurance works on property insurance policies. But some policies have endorsements that can take away more coverage or even add coverage. No matter what you may see on TV or the internet ads, not all policies are the same. You should spend some time with your independent insurance agent and discuss your coverage and make sure that the insurance coverage you want to have is what you would have covered on your property insurance policy. If you don't have an independent agent or would like a second opinion, feel free to call, chat, or email us. We would be glad to discuss your needs or your policy with you. Thank you. Okay. You've been point is start over. Stop. Get it? Man, this is the end.